I really like the food on Royal Caribbean. I think there's a really good variety of it, and more often than not, I absolutely love what I order. But I found at least 5 things I just generally don't order or eat anymore on Royal Caribbean, and I want to give you alternatives to every single one up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Food is extremely subjective, so let me start off this video by simply saying that we all have different tastes. As an example, if I were to recommend this amazing broccoli dish that will change your life, there are still a lot of people out there who simply will never, ever want to try it because it is broccoli, and that's just the way that humans are. We like certain foods, we don't like certain foods, and it goes back and forth. But I found 5 different foods that I think fairly objectively, even though this is an opinion, are things you can skip, or at least think about skipping, on a Royal Caribbean cruise. Number 1 are the scrambled eggs in the Windjammer buffet. So when you walk around the buffet in the Windjammer, you're going to find scrambled eggs in the trays over there. And they're these giant vats of scrambled eggs. The problem is, these are the powdered eggs. They're not like actually someone cracking open eggs and scrambling them and putting them in there. They're mass produced. They taste watery, and it's just not the right flavor or texture, in my opinion, of what scrambled eggs should be. In fact, I think there's actually 2 better alternatives to those scrambled eggs that you should get instead. If you're in the Windjammer, there's usually a cooking station called the omelet station where you can go to get custom eggs made fresh the right way. There's no cost for this. You just have to wait a couple more minutes for them to prepare it freshly for you. Plus, you can add in extras like vegetables or ham and have it customized. But yes, they can make scrambled eggs in addition to an omelet. But if you're looking for better eggs and a less crowded experience overall, then the Solarium Bistro is a fantastic choice. Now, not all ships have these. We're generally talking about the bigger, newer ships. But most people are completely unaware that the Solarium Bistro exists, let alone it's a great choice for breakfast. A lot of people just simply default to the Windjammer because it's the buffet of the ship. But you can find great eggs over at Solarium Bistro as an alternative, and of course other foods, and far less crowded. Number 2 is, well, eating almost anything in Labadee. I hate to say this, but the food at Labadee, which is Royal Caribbean's private destination in Haiti, is pretty terrible. It's been that way for a long time. And basically it is burgers, hot dogs, some salad, some fruit, but it's all out there. It's not that exciting, and it just doesn't really do the trick. There's also occasionally barbecue chicken, but I gotta be honest with you, the quality of this food is just not there. And more often than not, we end up eating there because, well, it's the only option in town. An alternative you might consider, rather than just going with those burgers and hot dogs, is to actually go back to the ship. It's not too bad to get back to your cruise ship in Labadee. It's a fairly small area, and you can simply walk back to the ship, go to the Windjammer, which will be open and pretty much empty, eat far better food with far greater selection over there and an air conditioning, might I add, and then come back to Labadee. We've done this a couple times while in Labadee, although I admit during the warmer, really hot summer months out there, when you get back to the ship and you're sitting in the air conditioning, you just had a great meal, the temptation just to go back to your cabin and take a nap rather than return to the beach is there. So possibly we make this a little different in that you go to Labadee early, enjoy a nice beach day there, but for lunch, go back to the ship, have your lunch in the Windjammer, and then enjoy the rest of your day on board the ship. And hey, whether you take a nap or go to the pool deck, it's probably going to be a lot less crowded. Number 3 is something that I think the steak bros out there are going to have an issue with, but I'm going to put it out there. The iconic cuts at Chops Grill, available on right now 2, probably 3 ships coming in the future. Of course, you've got Icon of the Seas, Utopia of the Seas, and I'm assuming this will be on Star of the Seas as well. This is a subset of specialty cuts at Chops Grill. So you pay a cover charge to go to Chops Grill, but then there's these iconic cuts, which cost even more on top of the cover charge in order to order them. We're talking about bone-in filet mignon and a tomahawk steak, among others. The thing is, I really think you can skip them, not because they're bad, but because I just don't think it's really worth it unless you are truly a steak snob. Now, I say this as there are some people out there that truly do know their cuts of steak and really can appreciate those things. I'm not one of those, and I'm willing to bet most people are not those people either. I really believe most people simply go to Chops Grill and order probably the filet mignon that comes on the standard menu or one of the other cuts that's available, and it's no additional cost beyond the cover charge, and quite frankly, it's really good. I mean, at the end of the day, it's hard to go wrong with filet mignon, but when you're talking about dry-aged steaks and some of the iconic cuts that are out there that cost significantly more, as an example, that tomahawk steak will cost you $39.99 in addition to whatever the cover charge is that you paid. I recently tried this on Icon of the Seas because a lot of our YouTube viewers actually recommended it to me. And listen, it tasted great. I really enjoyed the steak. I just don't think that it was necessary for me to spend another $40 on a cut of steak, I probably would have had the filet mignon off the standard menu and been totally satisfied. But again, I'm not a steak connoisseur. I don't eat a lot of steak, so that's probably on me more than anybody else. But if you're probably thinking to yourself, boy, I sound a lot like Matt than anybody else, then yeah, maybe you can skip the iconic cuts as well. Number 4 are the dinner rolls in the main dining room. This is something your mom probably taught you when you were a little kid, but gosh, it is so hard to skip these dinner rolls. Basically, when you sit down in the main dining room, they bring out these dinner rolls for you in a basket. And let me tell you something, every minute you sit there, they look better and better, and they taste fantastic. This is not something me to tell you, like the scrambled eggs were bad. No, the dinner rolls taste good. The problem is, like your mom said, it truly does ruin your meal for you. All too often, I've sat there and grabbed at the different rolls, and after 2 or 3, all of a sudden your entree just seems impossible to eat. I think in general, filling up on bread is one of the major mistakes and faux pas of dining at any restaurant. But on Royal Caribbean, because they have them right there and they are really good, it can be very tempting to eat those. So obviously have maybe one or just skip them all together, but avoid like having a bunch because you're gonna get a lot of food. And one of my favorite tips in the main dining room is you can order more than one entree. So try different things out there. Don't limit yourself to a couple dinner rolls. And then of course, an hour later, you're hungry. And the final thing, I really thought about the main dining room and what is among all the different menu items, what's one thing I simply will never order again? And that's a stuffed grilled eggplant on Caribbean night. I love eggplant parmesan, grilled eggplant. I mean, generally speaking, I'm a big fan of it. The problem is this really left me disappointed with it. Essentially, this is a slice of eggplant that's rolled around the stuffing part of it and like put together. It seemed like dry, cold, and just not great. And let me tell you something. Again, I'm an eggplant fan. This is not like a new dish to me. But I got to tell you, I will skip this every single time. Instead, there's some fantastic choices on Caribbean. Now, the chicken korma is what I recommend. I mean, the Indian food on Royal Caribbean is bar none one of the best, not so well kept secrets out there. There's at least one Indian dish every night in the main dining room and the dinner menu. And then over in the Windjammer, you'll find Indian food for both breakfast, lunch, and dinner, in fact. And they are so good. There's so much flavor to it. And it's not as spicy as you might think. And things like the chicken korma are very welcoming to new palates. I know sometimes people think about Indian food and they assume that it's this really spicy, really overly flavorful type of dish that would just like overwhelm you. Trust me, things like chicken korma and butter chicken, it is the entryway into Indian food, and it's so good. It's something definitely worth trying rather than that stuffed grilled eggplant. The good thing about Royal Caribbean and food in general is that really you can try all these things, even the things I listed on this list, and come up with your own conclusions whether or not you think it's absolutely worth it or not. Ultimately, the good thing is there's plenty of other alternatives, so if you ever order something that you absolutely hate, like the stuffed grilled eggplant, no worries, ask your waiter for something else. Let me know in the comments below, what are your things that you will absolutely never eat again on Royal Caribbean? What are some foods you just avoid in general? And what are some good alternatives for that? Let me know in the comments below. While you're below our video, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. That way YouTube lets you know we have a brand new video to share. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.